एक क्वेश्चन आता है मन में कि क्या वैदिक एस्ट्रोलॉजी ये बता सकता है कि सोशल मूवमेंट जो हो रहा है वो किस तरफ हेडेड है. There are a lot of ways to find out, but instead of casting a Prasna chart, what I've done is I have done a Sthapna Kundali for Cockroach Janta Party. Cockroach Janta Party was launched on May 18, 2026. The organization is currently unregistered and it was founded online. So there is no verified founding time, there is no verified founding place. When it gets registered as a proper political movement, I think I will do this up again. But right now I am analyzing the Cockroach Janta Party as per an unfinished and incomplete Lagna chart. This analysis is based on the planetary positions on its date of formation and the major transits influencing it. As always, this is an astrological interpretation. It's not a prediction of guaranteed outcomes. In Vedic Mundane Astrology, the day an organization comes into public existence is the beginning of its collective journey, even without the exact time of birth. Planetary alignments reveal the themes surrounding its emergence. One of the strongest signatures for the foundation chart is communication. The symbolism points to a movement that gains momentum through ideas, through public debate, satire, digital media, the energy of young people, rather than through traditional political structures. This is reflected by Jupiter's placement in Gemini at the time of launch. Gemini is the sign of communication, education, networking, exchange of ideas, and Jupiter here encourages intellectual discussion, public awareness, and the ability to inspire people through information rather than authority. It's a remarkably fitting signature for a movement that first captured attention through social media, public conversation, and grassroots engagement. Jupiter is moving from Gemini to Cancer, and that is an interesting development that occurred just 2 weeks after the launch of the organization. On June 2nd, 2026, Jupiter entered Cancer, the sign of exaltation for Jupiter. While this exalted Jupiter is not part of the foundation chart itself, it became the earliest and most significant transit affecting the movement. In Vedic astrology, when a newly formed organization receives early benefit transit through Jupiter, it often symbolizes its expansion. So what happened to CJP was it expanded visibility, increased credibility, and garnered greater public interest. The symbolism suggests that what may have begun as a digital driven movement had the opportunity to evolve into something with broader social relevance, especially around the themes of education, ethics, institutional reform. Now let's talk about Saturn. Saturn is the voice of the people. And Saturn is in Pisces. Saturn represents students, workers, ordinary citizens, the slow mechanism of systemic change. Its placement in Pisces reflects collective frustration. And this collective frustration is against institutions. While at the same time, Saturn in Pisces encourages patience, endurance, long-term reform, rather than dramatic overnight victories. Saturn is asking whether the movement can sustain discipline over time. If it can, Saturn often rewards persistence with lasting structural changes rather than temporary headline. Now let's talk about Rahu. Rahu is technology. Hashtags, phones, viral posts. And Rahu, because it governs technology, digital communication, unconventional movements, ability to capture public attention very quickly. Its symbolism explains why a movement can spread rapidly through social media and resonate with younger audiences. But Rahu also represents volatility. Periods of rapid growth alternate with controversy, regulatory scrutiny, legal challenges. So, what Rahu is showing over here is that it's teaching the lesson of adaptability. Successful Rahu driven movements learn to evolve rather than depend on just on viral momentum. Viral momentum is helpful, but they evolve. Now we are moving into the second half of 2026. Saturn and Jupiter, they are continuing their journey. Saturn in Pisces, Jupiter symbolizing wisdom, education, institutional dialogues. But this transition is gradual. So what I see is that the movement may increasingly shift from public demonstration towards legal advocacy, policy discussion, educational reform, engagement with established institutions. If public support remains consistent, its influence can become less about protests on Jantar Mantar and various places, and more about participating in conversations for long-term reforms. Now, what I see is July to September, strong public attention, continued debates over educational issues, greater engagement with legal and administrative process. Late 2026 to early 2027, I see the organization getting some kind of a potential maturity, increased opportunities for structured advocacy, collaboration with civil society and educational reform groups. Long term, whenever I talk about long term, I always look at Saturn. Saturn is in Pisces, it's right now going retrograde. So it favors gradual institutional change rather than sudden political transformation. Any lasting impact is more likely to emerge through persistence, public participation, sustained dialogue. Remember, astrology doesn't determine political outcomes. It offers some kind of a framework for understanding cycles, timings, and collective energies. Because this analysis is based on the publicly known formation date rather than a complete birth chart, this is just an initial exploration into the birth and inception of CJP. Now, whether CJP grows into a lasting institute or remains a significant grassroots level movement or a point of discussion in public discourse depends on the staying power of the youth. Whether they get a mature leadership, public support, and whether they bring a significant gravitas to discussions in the real world. If you enjoy videos on mundane astrology, Vedic transit, and deeper symbolism behind world events, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and let me know which event you would like me to analyze next. Until next time.